Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and while Busted went to the year 3000, here at Elecspo we are going to the year 2031. On Football Manager 2022 I have simulated 10 years into the future to the exact date, the 2nd of November 2031. I'm going to go through every current Premier League club and see where your current manager, like say your Jurgen Klopps, your Pep Guardiolas, I'm going to see exactly where they are 10 years into the future. So let's do it. This is where your manager is in 2031. And if you haven't already, drop a like on this video, give it a nice little comment, and boost the algorithms and whatnot. And if you're feeling really fruity, hit the subscribe button and maybe even the bell too. I'll love you forever. It'd be really nice. And you're a nice person. I can just tell from I'm getting a certain vibe. You're a good guy. Anyway, on with today's video. Miguel Arteta, Lille. The Gunners are no longer trusting in the process. Miguel Arteta left Arsenal in 2026, but his career hasn't been that bad, to be honest with you. He left Arsenal in 2026. I don't think he was actually sacked. He resigned to get the Spain job, where he was there for 2 years, and he got the job of his dreams, the riches of Newcastle United, and it went absolutely tits up. He was sacked after a year, but he's landed on his feet, now managing Lille in France's Ligue 1. Managing the Champions League, which is something he doesn't do at Arsenal. Whether he did it at Newcastle, I don't know. He's doing it at Lille. They are currently third in Ligue 1, and things are going okay for Miguel Arteta. Not quite as good as maybe people thought when he first embarked on the managerial scene, but it's going better than some people thought at the start of the season when he couldn't buy a win for love nor money. Dean Smith, Ipswich Town. He's under huge pressure at the Villa right now. Christ, by the time I get this video out, he might actually have been sacked. And based on Football Manager, that could happen in the near future. Dean Smith left Aston Villa in 2021. He was sacked on the 6th of November, which is pretty imminent, to be honest with you. And his managerial career has taken him to the deep, dark depths of English football. Well, your championships, your League Ones. He went to Huddersfield, he went to MK Dons, he went to Oxford, and now he's at Portman Road with Ipswich Town, where things aren't going very well. He's disappointed at how things are going, and he's a wanted man, wanted by Portsmouth. He's got a preference to be a manager in the Premier League, but I don't really think that's going to happen, Dean. FM22 is not a fan of Dean Smith. Neither are some of the Villa fans right now, to be honest with you. Thomas Frank, Tottenham. The Brentford manager's fallen on his feet. He had a lengthy spell at Brentford. He was there until 2027, 9 years in charge, when he went to Southampton in 2027. What happened at Southampton? He wasn't there for long at all before he got the job of his dreams, maybe? He got the Tottenham job. He's been there for 4 years now, and he's even won a trophy for Spurs, where they won the Europa Conference League in 2031, which isn't even the biggest trophy that Thomas Frank's won during the simulation, because he won the Carabao Cup in 2022. Which would you rather win? They're both about as disappointing as each other, but then again, as a Newcastle fan, I'd take runners up in an egg and spoon race at the minute, for goodness sake. Graham Potter, MIA. No, that is not some rogue Swedish team or some other team from Scandinavia. Graham Potter is missing in action. You bang him into the search bar in 2031, no results found, which is quite strange considering he's one of the hot young managers in English football today. Not hot in that sense, we've made that joke before. We'll check what happened at Brighton. He obviously did leave Brighton. Let's check the managers out. He was sacked on the 26th of December 2021, and there's just no recollection of him after that day. Graham Potter has disappeared into the distance, out of the game, with no doubt a bushy beard and some XG to his name. Sean Dyche, Leicester City. Incredibly, in 2031, Sean Dyche is no longer the Burnley manager. He would resign in 2028. He spent 16 years at Turf Moor before he got the job of his dreams. He even won the FA Cup with Burnley, probably the biggest day in the club's history, but he resigned in 2028 to become the England manager, and he was sacked after 2 years, so clearly it didn't go very well. It was kind of like Mike Bassett levels of success. To be fair, even Bassett did quite well considering he made the semi-finals. Now he's at Leicester though, and he's got a fairly big job in English football, so good on you, Sean Dyche. You seem like a good man, and the kind of guy you'd want to go for a pint with. Thomas Tuchel unemployed. He's one of the best managers in the world at the minute. What he's done at Chelsea is sensational, but he actually left Stamford Bridge in 2023. He wasn't sacked though. He would get the Man City job that year, where he spent 6 years at the Etihad. He had some great years there. He won the Champions League in 2026, he won a Premier League in 2025, another Champions League in 2024, another Premier League in 2028, and FA Cup in 2027. But despite all of those honours, even reaching the Worldwide Hall of Fame for managers, he was sacked by Manchester City in 2029. And 2 years later, no one's given the bugger a job. Come on, someone give Thomas Tuchel a contract for goodness sake. He's got more chance of being the next Bond villain at this rate. Pedro Vieira, Strasbourg. While he's having a great time at Crystal Palace so far, despite there being, a lot of questions asked about him when he first arrived. Not a lot of people thought it would go well, but it is certainly going well, and he actually stayed at Selhurst Park until 2025. Unfortunately, during his time with Palace, they were kind of a yo-yo club. He was sacked in 2025, then he spent 3 years out of work until he returned to France with Reims. Spent 3 years there, now he's the Strasbourg manager, and in 2031 his new side are bottom of League One, which is quite disappointing after 11 games. So maybe maybe Pedro Vieira isn't quite as good as we first thought. Or maybe it's just a game, maybe we shouldn't get, caught up in this, one of the two. Rafa Benitez retired. At 69 years old, Rafa Benitez called it a day. There's pressure on him at Everton. Things aren't going too well at the moment after a bright start. And in this simulation, he would actually lose his job within his first season. By 2021, he was no longer the Everton boss. And instead, his next job in England, it wasn't Newcastle, it was Leeds. Where again, he didn't last very long. He was only there for a year. In 2023, he was sacked by the Whites. And in 2023, the same year obviously, he ventured into international management where he became the Austria manager. 5 years there, left in 2028 after the 2028 Euros, which I'm fairly certain they didn't win. And now in 2031, the memory of Rafa Benitez is just a thing of the past. I mean, he hasn't died, he's just not a manager anymore, which is fair enough, he'd be in his 70s. Marcelo Bielsa, nowhere to be seen. He was sacked by Leeds on the 18th of December 2021, which I don't really think is going to happen in the next month or so, but that's what happened in this simulation, and by 2031, Marcelo Bielsa has disappeared from football completely, which is, fair enough. I'd like to think he'd retired by then. He's already fairly old. Just call it a day, Marcelo. Ride off into the sunset with your bucket in hand and a book about football philosophy, which the likes of Pochettino and Guardiola will just lap up. Fair play to you, Marcelo Bielsa, a wonderful, wonderful manager, but nowhere to be seen in 2031. Which is completely understandable because he'd be 76 at that time. Just realised, me and Marcelo Bielsa nearly share a birthday. He's the 21st, I'm the 20th of July. How nice. How different our lives are. I have got my own bucket though. I'm rambling, let's move on. Brendan Rodgers, West Brom. Now this is a turn up for the books. You'd have thought Brendan Rodgers would have been, possibly even the top manager, one of the top managers in the Premier League. Instead, he's currently the Baggies manager who are top of the Sky Bet Championship. It looks like he got the Newcastle job in 2021, which would maybe suggest to me that he was the manager that replaced Steve Bruce, was there for a couple of years, got the sack in 2023, went to Norwich, he went to Bournemouth for a year, went to Southampton for a year, now he's at West Brom. He suffered relegation in his career, he went down to the Championship with Norwich. I mean, it's all gone absolutely Pete Tong for Brendan Rodgers. Things are not going well for a manager that is currently being touted as a future Manchester City boss. Jurgen Klopp, Barcelona. Klopp is no longer the Liverpool boss. He left in 2025 and since 2026 he's been managing the Catalonian Giants. Been there for 6 years and he's currently disappointed at how things are going. How are things going in 2031 for Barcelona? They are 6th in La Liga. Have they at least recovered somewhat in recent years? Oh my god, they actually have. Even despite all their financial woes, Barcelona have been dominant in Spanish football. Why did Football Manager not take Barcelona's financial turmoil seriously? Pep Guardiola, Spain. The Manchester City genius is no longer a club manager, he has now taken his talents to the international stage. He left Manchester City in 2023, which is what we all expect. He's already said he's going to leave Man City then, which is, it's coming. It's not too far away. He got the Juventus job in 2023, and a year later, after winning the title in his first season no less, he left again. He left another club to return to the Premier League. He got the Chelsea job in 2024. He won a Champions League. He won an FA Cup, a European Super Cup, a Premier League, Community Shield, which doesn't count, another Premier League, 3 consecutive Premier League champions before he was sacked in 2027. The disrespect Chelsea show to managers is quite frankly ridiculous, but Chelsea's loss has been Spain's gain, as in 2030 Pep Guardiola took Spain to the World Cup. They won the World Cup for the second time in their history with Pep Guardiola at the helm. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, QPR. Oh, he's QPR manager. Have you ever? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, QP. God. Not quite sure why his Man United time isn't mentioned here. Don't know what's going on here, but he got the West Ham job 2024. Actually, no, I'm laughing at him. QPR were in the Premier League when he got the job. They've just been relegated since. Dear me, let's move on. Newcastle United. Well, we haven't got a manager right now, so... here's a picture of a zebra. Daniel Farkas, Porto. Now here's a manager who has taken his career to totally new heights. He's had a fair few jobs since leaving Norwich in 2022. He's been to Schalke, he went to Hamburg, he went to Augsburg, he went back to Schalke, then he went to Frankfurt, then he went to Hertha Berlin, and in 2031 he is the manager of FC Porto, one of the biggest clubs in Portugal. He's already won a Europa League, he's already won a Portuguese Cup. Things are going pretty damn good for Daniel Farkas, which can't say the same in reality considering they are bottom of the Premier League with barely a pot to piss in. I mean, Christ, they might as well just get relegated now. But things are going better in 10 years for Daniel Farkas, so at least he's got that to look forward to. Ralph Hasenhuttl, Albania. Yes, the Klopp of the Alps left Southampton in 2026. It looks like he was sacked by the looks of things. He got the Nuremberg job for a year in Germany. Since 2029, he has been managing Albania, which is... I mean, it's not very exciting. His star players are Armando Broja, the one who's banging goals in for Southampton on loan. So at least they've got that in common, a bit of a friends reunited situation at Albania. I haven't got anything else to say here. Let's just move on. This one's quite boring. Antonio Conte, Juventus. Right, at the time of recording, Antonio Conte hasn't been appointed the Tottenham manager. But I mean, it's going to happen. In 10 years' time, Antonio Conte didn't actually go to Tottenham. Instead, his next job was Atletico Madrid, where he had 3 years. He briefly went to Porto. Then he went to Real Sociedad, strangely, for a couple of years. In 2028, he returned to Italian football. He got the Juventus job for the second time in his career. He's earning 180 grand a week. And he's winning trophy after trophy in Italy. Will things go that well for him at Tottenham? Probably not, but it's going to be funny either way. Claudio Ranieri retired. I mean, of course Claudio Ranieri was retired in 2031, for goodness sake. He actually stayed at Watford for a long, long time. It wasn't just a few months job like, the usual Watford managers. Instead, he was there until 2026, which for me just shows how unrealistic this game is. David Moyes, Slovakia? Oh, this might be the weirdest one of the lot. He left West Ham in 2024. He went to West Brom for a few years, which isn't a great career move considering how well he's done at West Ham. He had a year at Greece for I don't know why. And since 2029, David Moyes has been the Slovakia manager. Why? What a strange career trajectory for David Moyes. The man's completely rebuilt his reputation at West Ham, and in 10 years' time, he's managing a team that no longer have Marek Hamšík. And finally, Bruno Large, unemployed. The current Wolves boss didn't last very long at Wolves. He was sacked just months after arriving. He lost his job in 2021, and for some reason, well, quite surprisingly, he's just stayed in English football ever since. He went to Derby, he had a little trip to Wales with Swansea, and then he went to Sunderland. The only time he's actually lasted more than a year at a club was Derby. He was there for 4 years. At Sunderland, he didn't even last a full 12 months. He's now unemployed and he's wanted by Huddersfield Town. Not really a ringing endorsement of the man who's bringing style back to Molineux. Is he doing that? What a strange way to end this video. Let's end it now. We are going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And until next time, we will see you around.